And then, of course, you know, her boyfriend ends up getting cheated on. She fucks me, and that's how the game is played. It is what it is. That's how players do it. So, for example, I'm at the club. I tell the girl, come back to my house and kick it. She says, well, I'd like to, but I have work in the morning. I basically just copy her response and paste it back. Yeah, I have work early in the morning, too. Let's just hang out for a little bit. I have a bar at my house. We'll just hang out and have a quick drink. Okay? So now I understand her situation. I understand that she's got work in the morning, but then I say, yeah, I have work in the morning too. Let's just hang out for a little bit. And you can even add in something like, oh man, what time do you got work? And she says, well, I have to be there at 8 in the morning. Go, oh man, I feel you. I have to be up at 5 in the morning to be there at 6. It's gonna be a long day. So why don't we just hang out for a little bit? So you're basically copying her objection and you're pasting it back. Remember that if you get the new 2nd edition full color version of my book, you will get all of these graphics and everything that I'm talking about in high def. And you'll get access to thousands and thousands of tips and techniques and stuff like this. I think you'll really enjoy it. This is definitely going to be a game changer, so make sure that you stay through this whole video. Okay guys, what's up? So today we're going to be talking about objection handling. This is one of the most important elements in game, in my opinion. It was interesting because I was doing a Zoom coaching call with a student, and so he got my book, but he hadn't fully read it yet. And he was running into a lot of roadblocks. Basically, he was getting a lot of objections and rejections from girls, and he had no idea how to overcome these objections and rejections. He didn't even know that I had touched on this. And it was funny because I was like, well, you got my book, right? Did you read the attraction section? There's a whole section in there on objection handling. And he's like, what's that? And I was like, well, it's one of the most important things in the book. And anyway, like you can see from the back here, I have all kinds of charts and graphs. And if you're new to my channel and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have a book. It's called How to Pick Up Hot Women. It's on Amazon. It is just $6 for the Kindle right now, or $97 for the paperback. And I think it's actually on sale for $69 right now. And anyway, it's full of charts and graphs and has all of this stuff for you. But make sure that you're getting the 2nd edition full color version. That is the one with the new charts and upgraded graphs, and there's more things on objection handling and things like that in there. So make sure definitely to check it out. So I'm going to start this video with this. Basically, right here you can see not only we're going to be talking about objection handling right here, and which basically goes into this section, and then it gives you basically samples of objections. There's like 24 different objections, things girls might say. I have a boyfriend, I'm too tired, I don't give out my phone number to strangers, I don't have sex on the first date, I don't feel safe, I don't feel comfortable, I have work in the morning, I just met you, I can't leave because I'm with my family, I'm with my friends, oh, this is a work function, I can't really leave. And all these things are basically what I like to call soft no's, okay? So if you know anything about sales, you go to a car dealership, for example, maybe it's the BMW lot, and the BMW salesperson is saying, hey, I'd like to interest you in this car, and you go, yeah, I like it, but I don't like the color. I don't know if I can afford it. I need to talk to my wife about it first, right? Now, salesmen are smart. They don't just take that as a hard no. They take it as a soft no, and they not only expect these objections to occasionally come up, they're prepared to handle them and basically jump over them like a hurdle. In dating, it's the same thing. She might want to hang out, but then she says, well, I want to hang out, but I'm tired and I have work in the morning. So you don't look at that as like, no, we're not hanging out. You don't look at it as a hard no. You look at it as a soft no. It's like a hurdle in a hurdle race. And you have to be prepared that these objections, and just kind of know in the back of your mind, be prepared. They are going to come up time to time, and you got to be ready for them. And then you should have a pre-scripted, rehearsed line in your head to be able to fire back at the girl in order to overcome the objection, to jump over that hurdle and keep running that race. And then, of course, another hurdle may come up. You have to jump over that. But you keep going and going until you get to the finish line, until you get to the goal line, until you get that touchdown, until you get the sex. And so anyways, I don't know any other dating coaches that are using AI technology and stuff. So not only do I put my own insights into this, so all my stuff is coming from firsthand experience that I've done in real life and got real results with women. But now I'm using AI to auto-correct everything and kind of just compress the information and make it better. So right now, to give you a better understanding really quick, I've basically taken AI. I like to use ChatGPT and this new one called Copilot, which is, I think, powered by Bing, and really, really great tool for you. But basically, I just copied and pasted a little bit of this section, and I'm having the AI synthesize it. So listen to, don't take my word for it. This is, listen to how the AI puts it in there. So here, I'll read it, have it read back for you.
In the context of dating, it's crucial to understand that objections will frequently arise. The key is to address these objections with a lighthearted, humorous response and then continue the interaction. When an objection is raised, it's often effective to mirror it back to the person, reassuring them that it's not a significant issue and that the interaction can continue without pressure. Avoid getting into logical debates about the objections, as this is usually counterproductive. Instead, handle the objection and continue progressing the interaction. Using a car metaphor, if you hit a brick wall, an objection, don't accelerate into it. Instead, ease off, reverse a bit, and find a way around the obstacle. If an objection arises, don't confront it directly. Instead, give the person some space and approach the issue from a different angle. Being prepared for these objections and having ready responses is a crucial part of successful dating strategies. These tactics can help you achieve better results in your interactions.
Okay, did you understand what she said right there? First of all, you don't want to logic the girl to death. That's really important. And by the way, this is, I'm just basically taking the AI, instead of having to read you pages and pages of my book, I'm just having the AI synthesize it and compress it so that you could get kind of the main bullet points of what I'm talking about. So for example, a lot of guys, again, will think that an objection is a hard no, or they'll try to logic the girl to death and basically say, oh, you're tired in the morning? Well, why don't you just reset your alarm? Or why don't you do this? And they give her some kind of logical debate, and that's just going to turn the girl off more. But instead, if you have a pre-rehearsed, pre-scripted, lighthearted, fun, flirtatious, humorous response, that's going to basically help you to overcome the objection easier and faster. But, instead of trying to explain all this, I'll go into this and give you a couple of examples. But again, one of the most important things right here, again, be prepared for these objections, and having ready responses is a crucial part of successful dating strategies. These tactics can help you to achieve better results with your interactions. So again, like a salesman, they expect that there's going to be some objections, some soft no's, some issues or something to handle, and they're going to have to think quickly, or they're going to use a canned response or something that they've already, pre-written, rehearsed, or premeditated or something like that in order to overcome the objection and ultimately make the sale. Like, for example, you go to a car dealership, you're at the BMW dealership, and the customer saying, well, I want a car with, air conditioning and low mileage, and it needs to be gray. And maybe you don't have, a gray car, but you maybe have like a black one. Well, the salesman said, well, I don't have the gray model, but let me check out this black one because it does have air conditioning, but it also has this other feature, and blank. The inexperienced salesperson might be like, oh, he wants a silver car and we don't have it. We only have black, so it's a no-go. The experienced salesman says, well, I don't have a silver car, but I got this black car and I want to make this sale, so I'm going to figure out how to do it. So it's the same thing with women. Women might want a tall, handsome, athletically built, good-looking, rich guy, whereas maybe you don't meet all of that criteria, but you're still going to talk to the girl, and you say something interesting where she's like, oh, this guy is kind of cool. I do want to hang out, but I can't because I have work in the morning. Well, there's things that you can do to basically overcome that objection and keep the interaction moving forward to get her back to your house, even though you may not be her type, even though she may have work in the morning and she may have other objections. You can still say and do certain things to get her back to the house and ultimately get the sex to occur. So we're going to go into PowerPoint, and we're going to just basically break this down on a more micro level. Remember that if you get the new second edition full color version of my book, you will get all of these graphics and everything that I'm talking about in high def. And you'll get access to thousands and thousands of tips and techniques and stuff like this. I think you'll really enjoy it. This is definitely going to be a game changer, so make sure that you stay through this whole video. All right, so basically we're going to start here at the beginning, right? So we got some new emojis. Here's, for example, the girl that you're talking to. Next, set. Okay, if you're new to my channel, set is basically a person or a group of people. So if it's one girl, that would be known as a one set. If it was two girls, maybe a girl and her friend, that would be a two set. And if it's three people, it would be a three set, and so on and so forth. But for the context of this video, let's go ahead and just make it a single girl. Here's the situation. She's at the bar. You've approached her. You're talking to her. She's kind of into you. Maybe she's lukewarm. You know, she's not super into you. If she was, she wouldn't really have any objections. If you're a famous rock star like Justin Bieber, she's probably not going to have any objections. She's probably going to go straight to your dressing room and suck your dick and let you fuck. But if you're a normal, average guy like myself, like that, you probably will have a couple of objections. That's just the way dating is. It's something that you have to learn to overcome. Otherwise, you're just going to keep getting rejected, and you're not going to know that there's actually ways to get around these objections. So let's start here. I do this all with red and green arrows so that you'll understand this. So this is your first stop, basically. You're talking to the girl, you know, hey, what's up? I saw you from over there. I thought you were super cute. I want to come meet you. My name's Ryan. Hey, you know, I'm Jessica. Okay, well, Jessica, what are you doing right now? I'm just hanging out. You know, I just got off work. These are, you know, a couple friends of mine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Well, I was going to go to this other venue, or I was going to basically head back to my house. I have a full stock bar over there, have some drinks. Do you want to join me? Think of that as in fast forward. But I've been talking to her, and I'm basically trying to ask her to come back to my place. Something like that. Target is, you know, the girl that you like. That's the girl that I'm targeting. She throws up an objection, right? So basically my job here is to handle the objection in order to keep the interaction going, to go green again, right? So she's kind of thrown up the hand like, you know, no. And before we go any further here, let me go over some basic types of objections. And again, in the book, I go into all of them. But these are going to be some of the main ones. So examples of types of objections, right? So you've got comfort and safety objections, right? So for example, she says, I don't feel safe with you, I don't feel comfortable with you, etc., going over to your house yet, right? So the girl's like, yeah, I just met you, you know, you seem like a cool guy, but I just don't feel safe, I don't feel comfortable. So that's known as a safety or a comfort objection. And basically under this, there's 10 different ways that she might say it. I don't feel safe with you. I don't feel comfortable with you. I just met you. I don't usually give my phone number to guys on a first date. You could be an axe murderer. I don't know. Right? So this is kind of like, think of this as like the top of the umbrella in terms of like safety and comfort. And then here's another one, work objections, and then hookup objections, logistical objections, other various objections. So think of those as different umbrellas, and underneath there's all these different ways that the girl could give you the objection. And of course in the book I give you all the best, most optimal ways to handle all of these objections. In this video, you know, we're going to go in depth, but it's still going to be more surface level versus in the book where it's like explaining all of this stuff. So for example, a work objection, you know, hey, you know, I'd like to go hang out. I'd like to go back to your house. I'd like to go over to this other venue with you, or I'd like to go get some food with you, but I have work in the morning. How about a sexual and or hookup objection? Sorry, I'm not that type of girl. I don't just go over to a guy's house that I just met. Or, you know, I don't have sex with guys on the first date. Oh, I don't kiss guys that I just met, etc., etc. How about a logistical objection? I can't leave because I'm here with my friends or my family. Or, well, this is my boss from work and it's his party, so I don't know if I can really leave right now. I can't just, whatever. Other various objections. I can't because I'm on my period. So they got a period objection. The boyfriend objection. I would, but I have a boyfriend. Yeah, I'm married or something like that. Or for example, here we go. Get a lot of this in Vegas, or if you're in like Los Angeles or New York, Paris, any types of major cities, you're going to be talking to a girl and she's going to give you kind of a travel itinerary objection or a previous engagement objection. Okay, I'm flying back in the morning. You know, I'd love to hang out, but I have a 6 a.m. flight, so I don't know if I can hang out. I can't go out drinking back to your house. I feel tired, you know, a tired objection. She's been hanging out all day and she's kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to go on another adventure. I don't have a ride back home. She doesn't want to get in your car and go back to your house because she doesn't know how she's going to get back to the venue or back to her house. I'm not sure because of blank. It could be anything, right? You fill in the blank right here. We don't know what she's not sure of, but some way, shape, or form, we have to figure out how to get her to become sure. So again, like a hurdle, we can jump over that objection and keep the interaction moving forward. So again, here we are at the beginning. The target throws up an objection, right? So let's just say, for example, let's use a work objection, right? So she says, I'd like to, but I have work in the morning, right? So how do we handle this objection? Okay, I can't because I have work early in the morning. So what I like to do is what's called a copy and paste. This is basically copying her objection and then pasting it back to her, or mirroring it back to her. So for example, I'm at the club, I tell the girl, come back to my house and kick it. She says, well, I'd like to, but I have work in the morning. I basically just copy her response and paste it back. Yeah, I have work early in the morning too. Let's just hang out for a little bit. I have a bar at my house. We'll just hang out and have a quick drink. Okay, so Now I understand her situation. I understand that she's got work in the morning, but then I say, yeah, I have work in the morning too. Let's just hang out for a little bit. And you can even add in something like, oh man, what time do you got work? And she says, well, I have to be there at 8 in the morning. Go, oh man, I feel you. I have to be up at 5 in the morning to be there at 6. It's gonna be a long day. So why don't we just hang out for a little bit? So you're basically copying her objection and you're pasting it back. You're not over logicking her, like you're not giving her some, oh well, if you do this, or why don't you call in sick, or why don't you do this? You're not giving her some weird strategy or something like that. In the metaphor of a car, let's say slamming into a brick wall, you don't want to push the gas because it's not going to do anything. You have to ease off the gas, put the car in reverse, back it up, and then get around that wall. But you resist, persist. You don't want to keep persisting, giving her like strategy. Oh, why don't you call in sick or something like that? You can just be, oh, yeah, I have that same issue. Why don't we just do this because it will be easier? So let's say, for example, that in this instance, she goes ahead and she agrees with you. She goes, okay, yeah, we'll just hang out for a little bit. We'll just have like one drink. Well, now that you got the girl to agree, you're back on that green path, right? And you're going to keep coming along here, and you get her back to your house, right? Or to her house, or to any other full isolation, right? So a park, right? The beach if it's at night, maybe in the back of your parked car, anywhere that you can have basically 4 walls around you so that nobody could see you. So basically, so the sex can occur. Say, for example, you get back to your house, for example, at my house, the couch is right there. Disco lights would be on, music would be playing, we'd be watching, TikTok videos on the big screen. I'd be running game. It would have a nice seductive vibe, and we'd end up having sex on the couch. So for the most part, that's where it gives the opportunity for the sex to occur. But let's say, for example, you get the girl back to your house and you're still getting a no. You pushed it this far in the interaction, but now, for example, you're starting to make the moves, and then she gives you more objections. So she's like, well, I don't hook up with guys I just met. I don't have sex with guys on the first date or something like that. You can go to a different objection handling, and if it works, then you can keep repeating the process until you get the sex. But let's say, for example, it's just not working. You get her at the house, you're having drinks, and she's very firm on that. Where she's more giving you a hard no in this case, where she's like, yeah, I do like hanging out. We should hang out again, but I don't have sex with guys on the first date. So at that point, what you want to do is you want to set up a second, a third, or a fourth date, depending on how many times you've gone through this little loop. And then basically what you want to do is you want to continue pitching the idea of going back to your house for drinks or any other form of full isolation. So basically you say, okay, no worries, I feel you. I understand. Let's hang out again next week. I'll text you or something. So she says, okay. And when you do, then you say, hey, let's go to this bar, let's get some drinks, or, hey, yeah, I was just going to kick it at my house, let's get some drinks and chill. You get her back over there and you try it again. So let's say, for example, this time the sex occurs and you get a yes. Well, then you move into what's called retention game. So that's like keeping the girl around if you're interested in her, or what I like to call relationship or rotation management. And that's a whole other section in my book. And then from there, that's where basically you can put her on rotation. You can make her your girlfriend. You can move towards like marriage if that's something that you're interested in. Or you can just keep her as a side chick. Or you can ghost her ass, and then you could basically just move on to the next target. So let's say you ghost her. Let's say you fuck her and you're like, yeah, she was cool, but maybe the pussy wasn't tight enough for you. Maybe she just... maybe she was boring to talk to. Maybe when you got her undressed, she had too much weight on her. She had a lot of stretch marks or something like that. Or, she said something that turned you off and you were just like, okay, I got the lay, but I'm not interested in pursuing a relationship. That's where you basically just block her from your phone and you go back and you move on to the next set. Or the other way, for example, if you put her on rotation, now she's like a side chick. After that, you can be fucking her, but then you can also move on to the next set and move on to the next girl. And if you keep doing that, you'll be able to keep racking up your score and building a stronger rotation with hotter and hotter girls. So now let's go through this again and give a different variation of this. So this time, for example, next set, right? You go on to the next girl, you're at the bar the next night, it's a new girl you're talking to. Hey, what's up? I saw you from over there. I thought you were super cute. I wanted to come, holler at you for a minute. I'm Ryan. Hey, what are you doing over here right now? Who are you with, right? And of course, the target then throws up an objection. You're like, yeah, you should come back to my house and come kick it. She's like, well, I could, but I'm here with my friends. And she doesn't want to leave her friends. So one of the first things that I like to kind of start doing is be like, well, we need to understand, are these her best friends? In that case, she's probably not going to leave them. But what happens if she says, oh, yeah, you guys grew up together, you guys went to high school together? She says, oh, no, they're just friends from work. Okay, so this situation now has a lot more potential for her to leave because they're not people that she grew up with. It's just someone that she just met, right? So let's say, for example, you say, well, you know, you can be back here in like an hour or something like that. We'll just go kick it and have a drink real quick. So imagine she says, oh, okay. Let's say she likes the idea and you overcome that objection. Whereas most guys, they won't even try that and they'll just be like, oh, you're here with your friends. Okay, I'll see you next time. Right? If she goes for it, you would basically go through the process, get her back to your house. Once she's there and she starts drinking, she's probably not going to go back to the bar, and you'll be able to get the sex to occur, and then you can put her on rotation, and then you can move on to the next set. Let's go into the variation where, let's say, for example, she throws up the objection. She says, I can't go because I'm here with friends. You go, oh, okay, yeah, you guys, people you grew up with, that's your best friend or something like that? And she says, yeah, we went to high school together, right? So best friend, she's probably not going to leave her. Fine. We kind of have a stopping point right here. You've tried to handle the objection, it's just not working. She's still resisting, right? So what you want to do is kind of go for a consolation prize, which is a date to like either coffee or get some drinks, maybe next week or something like that, or tomorrow. So you want to go for a number close or a time bridge or a first date, or what you might call a day two. If the day one is right then and there where you're talking to the girl and you're first meeting her, and then you say, hey, let's meet up for drinks or let's get a coffee tomorrow at noon, that would be a day two. It's the second day in the interaction, or a first date, depending on what kind of terminology that you want to use. So I will say something like this: no worries, shoot me your number and I'll text you later. I know a really cool bar we could meet at. So then the idea, the little tip right here is you want to choose a bar or a coffee shop that's near your house. So for example, if I live here on like 1st and Main Street, I want to choose a coffee shop that's like right here on the corner, because she might live way across town. That's bad logistics for me on my part if I have to go all the way to the other side of town in the hopes of getting laid. I want her to come to me, meet up at this coffee shop, and then the whole idea of that date is to pitch going back to my house. So on day one, she can't leave her friends, but I got her phone number. I call her up the next day and I said, let's meet up for that coffee. She drives from her house to meet up with the coffee, and when we get the coffee, I just keep saying, yeah, I actually live right across the street. I have a full bar at my house. We should come kick it. Let's watch some movies. I got to show you this crazy TikTok creator or something like that, and get her from the coffee place back to my place so that the sex can occur. So for example, you're here in this variation, the target was still resisting you, and then you're like, hey, well, you're here with your friends tonight. No worries. Like, let me get your number and I'll call you tomorrow. We'll grab some coffee or something like that. She gives you a number. You say, okay. So this is her agreeing and you got the phone number. You then move into basically what's called phone and text game, so that you can basically meet up for the first date. So the next day you call her up, kind of like sales. You get back on the phone and you start cold calling. Hey, what's up? This is Ryan. Met you at such and such club last night. Yeah. Was going to go get some coffee at the Starbucks over here on 1st and Main Street if you want to come meet me. Oh, okay, sure, I'll be over there. So again, once you get on the coffee date, then you want to continue pitching the idea of going back to your house for drinks, right? Or to quote unquote hang out and watch a movie. So again, at this point, the target could either agree, where you're going to go back to your house and then give a chance for the sex to occur, which can either be a yes or a no. If it's a no, then you're going to set up a second date. You're going to set up a third date or fourth date, and you just keep going through this loop until it either closes and you get the sex, or it just fizzles out, and then you'll move on to the next set in that instance. Or the target resists, for example. You guys are sitting there having coffee, and then you're like, yeah, I just live across the street. You should come hang out. And she, well, no, I just met you, blah, 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 blah. She's throwing up more objections. You can either, again, try to plow through those objections, or you can kind of realize, man, this isn't really going anywhere. You can basically kind of just abort that whole set and move on to the next set with the next girl who's going to be a little more compliant. She's going to give you a little bit more of what you want. So let's go through one more iteration here, and this is kind of an interesting way to look at it, for example. So let's say you move on to the next set. The first set closed, you got laid. The second set just kind of fizzled out. You're going on to the next set, next girl, right? So you talk to this girl, and you're basically telling her, yeah, let's hang out, let's go have some drinks. And she's like, maybe she's interested enough in giving you her phone number, but she's rejecting the idea of hanging out or just going to have a drink. She wants you to take her out to dinner. This is a huge red flag right here, but a lot of guys will fall into this little fucking trap, and the girl will end up getting a free dinner from you, and she'll collect your attention and validation, but she won't give you any sex in return. It's not a good situation to be in. So let's say, for example, you're talking to the girl and you say, hey, let's hang out and, have a drink, right? So she's like, well, I don't want to go out for drinks. I want a dinner. I want you to buy me dinner. So she's basically still resisting. So maybe you take her number, for example, right there, and you call her up and you say, yeah, I don't really want to do dinner, but I was going to say, let's hang out, or let's do this, or let's do something cheap. We could go for a walk in the park or a walk on the beach, or we could just hang out at your place or something like that. And you're trying to do stuff because you really, as a man, don't want to invest that much money into the girl if she hasn't given you sex in return. When you do that, you're kind of like an office giving a loan, to someone without any credit, right? So for example, let's say someone walks into my loan office and they say, I want $10,000. And I say, do you have a job or do you have any credit? And they say, yeah, I don't have any. Well, it's not good for me to give them 10 grand because I'm probably not going to get my investment back. Whereas another person, oh, I have a job, I have the money. Okay, I'll give you the 10 grand and you're going to give me 10 grand back plus, you know, an additional 2 grand for interest. Fine. This is a good investment for me. But if I just met a girl, I don't know what her habits are. I don't know what she's planning on. I don't know what her objective is. It might just be to get a free dinner off of a guy. So if I take her out and I charge $200 on my credit card at Olive Garden and buy her this food, at the end of the date, she could always just be like, well, that was fun, but I like you just as a friend. Or, yeah, I forgot to tell you that I have a boyfriend or something like that. And so basically, I just gave her a free $200 dinner and I didn't get sex in return. So that's a bad deal for me. Whereas if she comes to my house to hang out and I have sex and I like the girl, then I will give her a dinner to reward her for the good behavior. I'll take her to Olive Garden or I'll buy her some lobster or some pasta because I like the way that she sucked my cock. I like the way that her pussy felt on my dick. And I want to possibly pursue it into a long-term relationship so that I can keep having sex with her. That's a much better deal for me as a man. It's a much better way to play the game. So let's say, for example, again, she's not interested in hanging out and you say, okay, no worries, well, shoot me your number and, you know, I know this bar, we can meet up tomorrow. And she's still saying, you know, the girl is still refusing and insists on you buying her dinner or drinks or taking her out to, you know, more expensive dates, or I want you to take me to a concert, or I want you to take me to the drive-in movie or something like that, and I want popcorn and chips and nachos and ice cream. And okay, at that point, you kind of have to accept it. You know, it's checkmate, it's game over. And then it's actually better for you to reject the date and move on to the next set or target rather than taking that risky date where she doesn't want to have drinks, she doesn't want to hang out. She wants me to charge up that credit card on a free dinner for her in the hopes that I'm going to get some pussy. It's just not worth it. It's better to just be like, you know what? It was a pleasure to meet you, and then just leave and move on to the next set. It's going to be safer for you and for your wallet, for your finances. You'll thank me later. And so my note right here, the girl is most likely just trying to use you for free food, drinks, attention, validation, like free dinner, right? She's a possible attention whore. She just wants the attention without giving anything in return, anything physical. She could be a gold digger. She's just trying to get money, resources, again, free dinner. She could be prude. You don't want to deal with women like that. She could be a religious kook, right? So she's one of those people that are like, oh yeah, you could buy me dinner, but I'm not going to give you sex until we get married because, you know, God forbids it. So you want to stay away from people like that. Don't waste your time. Find a more interested and or compliant girl. It's the best way to do it. And so guys, that is basically objection handling in a nutshell. That's the way that the game is played. So go out and try some of these techniques. Again, if you check out my book, I basically list down all of the, you know, I have a boyfriend, I'm tired, I'm on my period. I go through the book and I basically list all of the different objections and different variations, and we go into all of this stuff, and you're going to learn so much stuff. Guys who have been in this game for 10 years, even guys who are coaches, professional coaches who are teaching other guys how to pick up women, they have hit plateaus, and they have read my book and literally skyrocketed their game to an entirely new level by learning these techniques. Whereas again, most guys, they'll talk to a girl and they'll hear, oh, she has a boyfriend, okay, I'll just leave. And they take that as a hard no instead of just a soft no, or knowing that there's possible ways to jump over that hurdle and keep the interaction moving forward. Other things in my book, I talk about what's called boyfriend destroyer patterns, or BDPs, which are basically several different ways that a girl could say, oh, I have a boyfriend, and there's all types of autopilot responses for you to memorize that you can spit back to get over the boyfriend objection. One personally that I like, that I've used a lot and had a lot of success with, a girl might say, you know, I'd like to hang out or whatever, but I have a boyfriend. And I say, oh, you have a boyfriend? That's great. Is he a good guy? And the girl will say, yeah, he's a good guy. And I say, can he cook? And then she'll say, yeah, he can cook. And I'll say, oh, well, we should all hang out. Like, he can cook something for us, right? Because I just basically, boom, threw this kind of, you know, super uppercut blow, and it makes him look like a little bitch. Like, oh, you have a boyfriend? He can cook? That's cute. Why don't we all hang out and he can cook for something for us, right? I just made myself look like a fucking silverback alpha male gorilla, and it made him look like a little bitch. Like, I'm going to hang out with this girl and he's going to cook us something like a cuck, right? And there are times that could be too much, where the girl's like, whoa, you're just like too cocky. Or she could really like that and be like, oh, wow, like this guy is super cocky. Like, ooh, if he's talking like that, he must be the man. And she may just want to fucking ride on this ding-a-ling just to try it out because she's, oh man, this guy is so fucking confident, so cocky. He must be the shit, right? For me to talk like that. Or there's other ways where you can kind of go under the radar. And she says, hey, I have a boyfriend. And you go, oh, that's cool. Is he a cool guy? And she says, yeah. I say, well, that's good. It's, you know, especially in Vegas, it's hard to meet cool, like, people or dependable people. And she says, yeah, I know. How long have you guys been together? Okay, cool. You know, oh, we've been together like 2 years. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. Well, shit, you know, I'm actually having a party this weekend. A couple cool people are coming. You and your guy are welcome to come through. Shoot me your digits. Now she's kind of like, okay, I let him know that I had a boyfriend. It didn't bother him. And I do think this guy's kind of cute and I want to fuck him. He knows that I have a boyfriend. I'm not hiding anything. So she'll still give me the number. And then I'll call her back up, even though there's no party. I'm not actually planning on inviting her and her guy and other people, right? But now I have her contact information, so I picked her up, even though she had a boyfriend. And then, of course, next day, follow the routine, get on the phone the next day. Hey, what's up? You know, I met you yesterday. I was actually going over to this place if you want to come kick it. Now, she already said she has a boyfriend. I didn't care. She still gave her number. That lets me know that she's still interested in me. And of course, then I just keep running the game like normal routine. Yeah, she has a boyfriend, but she probably won't say anything about it. And I'll say, yeah, I'm going over here to this place to get a drink. If you want to meet up, she goes, okay, sure. And then of course, you know, her boyfriend ends up getting cheated on. She fucks me, and that's how the game is played. It is what it is. That's how players do it. So anyway, if you know these secrets, it's going to give you a huge advantage in the game. Anyway, I'm going to cut this video short. I hope you guys like this. I think this was a massive, massive value bomb. But again, check out my book to learn more secrets just like this. There's thousands more tips, techniques, tactics, strategies, cognitive tools, and everything else like that in the book. Again, right now it's just $6 on Amazon, and it's on sale for $69 for the paperback, which I highly suggest that you get. If you get the Kindle, you'll be able to have all these graphics in full HD. You'll be able to zoom in and kind of look at everything that I've written. Or in the book, it's in full color. You'll be able to look at it crystal clear, beautiful. But at that, I think that was a great study session for the day. Also, I do personal coaching where we can get on Zoom and we can screen share and we can go through all of these charts and graphs and things like that at just $99 an hour. Or right now, you can get 6 hours for just $495. So you're basically getting a whole hour for free. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more. Leave your comments in the box below. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Good luck and game on, fellas. Peace.